Welcome to Revitalize and Replant with Mark Clifton, where we equip pastors to take their churches from declining to thriving by pointing them to a new future and a new hope. Join us weekly for encouragement and practical advice in your pastoring journey.
So, somebody shows up to your church on Sunday morning.
That would be nice, actually.
And they're visitors.
That would be doubly nice.
I mean, it's just like it's getting better and better all the time.
I like where this is going.
Yeah. And they walk into your church. What's the first thing that happens to them? Don't answer. Don't answer.
Okay, I won't answer.
This is Revitalize and Replant with Mark Hallock, Mark Clifton,
Mark
Hallock.
Sidekick.
Let's get that right.
Okay, Mark
Let's
Clifton.
remember who the real Mark is.
There is a name on the top of that marquee.
Yes. Boy, I knew I was going to do that. I'm Dan Hurst. Actually, I should say I'm Kyle Bierman. That way he'll get blamed for it. Anyway, let's talk about, this is something that Hallock put together, just some ideas about how do you show Christlike hospitality on a Sunday morning? Because let's face it, first impressions, that whole thing.
It matters.
I mean, it really does matter.
They will determine their first opinion of you within about 15 seconds walking into that building.
That's
true.
And, you as a pastor, a normative-sized church pastor, you've got so many things to do on Sunday morning, so many people vying for your attention on Sunday morning, and you're obviously thinking of a lot of things, like your message and who have you talked to that week that you need to talk to again, and all the kinds of issues, that when someone new walks in, you better be prepared, and your church should be prepared to really know how to greet them. And it's far more than saying, we're glad you're here, pick up a bag on the way out.
Yeah.
It's
or here's a bulletin.
It's far more than that.
Yeah.
So Mark Hallock, ladies and gentlemen, wrote this. It's coming in his upcoming book, Mark, Deep Thoughts from Mark
That's
Hallock.
right, deep thoughts.
Anyway,
very deep.
Mark, let's start with number one.
Okay.
How do you make church first-time guests feel welcome?
Okay, let me just preface it this way.
Go ahead.
None of this is rocket science, but we've got to return to the fundamentals and the basics over and over and over again. Mastering the fundamentals is key to being a great athlete. It's key to being a great pastor. Fundamentals, okay? So these are fundamentals that we're reminding you of. Here's number one. Take initiative and pursue people on Sunday mornings. In other words,
You mean like run them down?
Sure,
The hallway?
whatever it takes.
No. Okay, so I walk into your church.
Uh-huh.
How do
You will have not entered into our church until you've already been pursued since the time between the time you get out of your car and into the building. Why?
What does pursued mean?
Pursued means this. I'm going to you. I'm not expecting you to come to me.
Okay.
That's what it means.
That's what that means.
So when a visitor comes in, and I would say, again, because the big vision here is hospitality, right? We're called to share the love of Jesus relationally. So whether it's a regular person or for sure a first-time visitor, it is not their job to somehow make themselves feel welcome at your church. It is your job to make them feel welcome at your church, which means there's nothing more awkward than somebody coming in, and we probably all experienced this, and you're like, where do I go? And
which direction?
what am I doing? And are they going to talk to me? Listen, it should be so obvious. We love you. We are crazy about you and your kids. Jesus loves you. I mean, I want to overwhelm with that. That's why I believe, you've heard me say this, as the lead pastor, I'm the lead encourager and lead greeter on Sunday mornings.
So let's start out. Take initiative.
Man.
Number one, even if you don't have parking lot people, and frankly,
we don't have parking lot people.
And frankly, if you're a church of 30 folks, it's kind of silly to have somebody stand out in a parking lot in all the kind of weather. It is. I get it. Now, if you've got 3,000 and you got a lot of parking issues, that's different. So I'm not suggesting you have a parking lot team, but here's what I am suggesting. Yeah. This is something you can take from this podcast and do tomorrow.
Yes.
Put up a couple of signs up near the front of the church and say, reserved for first-time guests. Even if you never have first-time guests.
Yeah, what does it communicate?
It communicates we expect first-time guests.
To come.
We're not going to be surprised if you show up.
Yep.
And if you do get a first-time guest and that person sees the parking spot, they're going to immediately feel like, oh, they expect me. They're prepared for me. I'm not intruding or imposing on them.
That's right.
They're ready for first-time guests. So there's no reason any church listening to me should not have a couple of three signs and a couple of three parking spots that say first-time guest parking. Now, I have a preference of saying guests rather than visitors.
Yes.
Because visitors sounds like somebody who just shouldn't be there.
I like that.
You come and you go. But a guest is, hey, you're welcome here. We want guests.
That's
Visitors imply out of nowhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
true.
passing through. But a guest implies you're invited.
Yes.
I invited guests.
Yep, I like that.
I would.
Well, the one thing that you have to be careful though about is that you don't want to come across as aggressive. You want to come across as welcoming.
Well, warm, yeah.
And so when I'm hearing Hallock talking, I'm thinking, man, is he going to chase me down?
Well, actually, in some ways, I might disagree with you, Dan. I mean, I think aggressive warmth is actually really important.
Yeah, but it can be overwhelming.
Well, here's the truth. It can be. I mean, again, I hope it's obvious to say, don't be the weirdo that's freaking people out. But I will say this. The joy of the Lord is weird to people.
Yeah, well, that's true.
And so don't err on the side of being too cool for school. And I promise you won't win anybody over with that. Mm-hmm. I always say this. I would rather our church run the risk of loving people over the top than I can count on two hands now how many people have left our church because we were too loving. And I can count hundreds upon hundreds who said, I've never been pursued like that. I have never been loved like that.
Well, you were talking about the sign, reserved for guests. We tried that at Oakwood when I was at Oakwood.
Yeah.
And I went and I guess I don't know what the statute of limitations is on this, but I'm pretty sure it's over with. I stole a sign from North Kansas City Hospital.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, that said reserved for clergy. And I put it up next to the guest sign.
Yeah.
Jim was none too happy with me.
Yeah, Dan was the associate pastor of that place, so he put it up there.
He was not happy.
Okay, hold on. So we're already going on to number 2.
Yeah.
Welcome with enthusiasm.
Exactly.
Now, you can see, you guys know me, I'm pretty enthusiastic about this topic.
Yes, you are.
I believe in it. I think it's actually key. I think it's one of the keys to why our church has gone from 30 and almost dead to healthy. I mean, I really do. And I've seen it over and over.
Yeah.
So but I also know my personality is such. Maybe you're listening and go, man, I'm just not wired like Hallock. I mean, Clifton's looking at this going, dude, Hallock's nuts.
I know he is.
At the same time, Clifton's going to say, what we're talking about matters here.
And this isn't the only thing. We're talking about 6 things here.
Well, that's right.
They're all incorporated.
That's right. Yeah.
So
Take initiative.
You have what you call aggressive warmth.
Aggressive. I like that. I never have thought of that phrase until right now.
Aggressive as opposed to passive.
Yeah.
And here's what passive. You come to the door and there's a guy or lady there and she kind of hands you a bulletin as that's all they're going to do.
And says welcome.
That's passive.
And it's not just
That's
welcome,
passive.
it's welcome.
Yeah. Aggressive is open the door for them.
Yeah.
Where was I recently? I was someplace recently, I guess, and they said at the church, they said, we don't want anybody, if you're a first guest here, we don't want you to have to open any door. So the door, as soon as you get to this door of the church, somebody's going to open that door and you're going to walk in. As soon as you get to the sanctuary, somebody's going to open that door and you're going to walk in.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think the bathroom counts, but they said, we want those doors to open for you, and as soon as you leave, somebody's going to open that door and let you. So that's sort of not a passive, but
that's a good way of saying it.
Yeah, and so also when you walk in, someone open the door and say, "Hey, I'm so glad you're here. My name is Mark, and just welcome. We're glad you're here today. Here's a bulletin," and just say, even if it's a small church building, just say, "Come right into our sanctuary. If you care to know, the restrooms are down there to the right."
That's
People
right.
always want to know where the restroom is.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
All right,
We're gonna
welcome with
one.
enthusiasm.
Yeah. And let me just say about this. So a phrase that we throw around at our church is one I heard years ago about what does it look like to be a prodigal hugging church?
What kind?
Prodigal hugging.
Oh, prodigal, like the prodigal son.
Like a prodigal son.
Okay.
And the image is when the prodigal son was afraid to come home, didn't know what he'd expect, and what does his dad do? His dad pursues him, gets off the patio, and hugs the heck out of that guy. I thought, man, I want every prodigal, every broken, discouraged, sinful, shame-filled man or woman or boy or girl to feel a prodigal hugging church every week.
I love that.
Let me add something to that.
Yep.
A friend of mine named George Bajakli, who I met in Canada, born in Lebanon, so he has a whole Middle Eastern concept in his world. I heard him preach on the prodigal son. And he said, in the Middle Eastern context, he said, when it says the father left and went to meet him, I'm like you. I'm from rural America, and I'm thinking, well, that means he left the front door and walked down the main lane to the post box, to the mailbox, right? And walked to the house with him. George says, no, that's really not what the story would imply. The story would imply that word would have gotten back to the town that this boy's coming back. and he's a mess.
Yeah.
And everybody was going to probably make fun of him and mock him because he left in such a huge way, right?
Yeah.
And now he's coming back. Just see, we told you.
Totally.
And his dad didn't want him to face that shame by himself,
wow.
and then to wonder whether his dad will accept him or not. So his dad went out to meet him, meaning he went out of the town to meet him.
Yeah.
So they would walk in the town together.
Wow.
So people,
I love it.
So people would see that the father accepts him.
Wow.
Now that's a picture that changed the whole pattern of that for me for the
Okay,
prodigal son.
okay, this is what comes to my mind. This week, right? We're in the trenches of ministry. Sunday. I'm in church, I'm preaching, and I see in the very back of the church a face that I know, but I don't know from where. After the service, this guy's hanging around. He's got a wife and a little baby. This kid was in my youth group 24 years ago.
Oh, my.
He was a broken, messed up, punky, smoking weed kid, and I remember I took him home from youth group every week because he was from a broken home. And for 2 years, man, he came. He wasn't part of our church. He was an unchurched kid who just started coming. And for 2 years, I remember just loving him, trying to make him laugh, just sharing the love of Jesus. 2 years. And then he was gone. I literally just gone. Never heard anything, never seen anything. He shows up at our church on Sunday. And he tracked me down somehow. And here's the thing. As I approached him, I could tell it was a big deal for him to be in that church, you know? And I went up to him and I'm just overjoyed. Like, what? Give me a hug, man, you know? And his wife and he's like, I told you he'd do this, you know? And baby, I'm holding the baby and all this stuff, and I put my arm around, and then I said, I gotta introduce you to some people, and I'm just kind of, I'm like, it's like a son, I'm proud of him. Dude, they hung around for 30 minutes. And now we've been texting all week. He said, you have no idea what that meant for us to be loved like that. It was a big deal. Now, again, I'm not saying that to puff myself up. What I'm saying is all that is love, man. Yeah. It's loving people. And I'll tell you what, that guy, I don't know if he ever got saved. I don't think he has. But I'm going, he's back.
Yeah.
I can see him coming to Jesus, his wife coming to Jesus. And so, anyway, that's the kind of stuff we're talking about.
So, have the sign that says first-time guest. Yeah. When they get to the door, open the door for them and say, man, my name is Mark. I'm glad you're here. And also, here's another thing. It's great if you feel like, and people have to be sensitive to this. As Dan says, some people are really careful about their space.
Yes.
But say, my name is Mark, and your name is, and they'll give you their name.
Yep.
My name's Jason. Well, hey, Jason, glad to have you here. And then it'd be great if you just walk Jason in the sanctuary, and there's somebody in there, and you go, hey, Michael, I want you to meet Jason. This is his first time here. Jason, this is Michael. Glad you're here. And then go back.
Simple.
I have a personal experience of a lady who was very frightened in coming to a church. And she said the first thing that happened, this lady introduced herself to me, and then she walked me down, let me sit with her, and introduced me to everybody around her. So I didn't feel like a stranger. I felt like somebody had, I
felt like I belonged.
I belong. This person knows me. They've introduced me to these other people, which is so different than not doing that.
Yeah.
Just having somebody walk in and take a seat, and then the pastor getting up and saying, well, let's all greet one another.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And the first-time guest doesn't know anybody there, and nobody knows them. That's really uncomfortable for them.
Let alone if you do the old school, we got a few visitors here. Go ahead and stand up and tell us. Oh, my
Or
word.
worse, which we did for a while, my dad did this. He said, let's have the visitors remain seated and everybody else stand up. And that's a really good view. So I would suggest, Okay,
so, number three, we've already hit this a little bit, is show individual care. And so, again, remember the big topic here is we're talking about showing hospitality on Sunday morning. What I mean by that is every individual matters. Every individual. So a young family comes in. You finally get a young family to come in. Don't just talk to dad.
Yeah.
Talk to mom. Get down and give a high five to those kids. What's your name, buddy? I love your shoes. I'm so glad. You know what? One, it makes him feel like gold, and his parents go, wow, this pastor really cares about me. And that's really what I'm leading with this, guys, hopefully, is pastors are the ones we've modeled this.
You set the tone.
You set the tone for this. Your people are going to watch you.
But I would take it even a step further. You are setting the tone for them, but you have to train people to do this.
Well, you do.
And this point about showing individual care, you have to teach your people how to
Yeah.
show individual
No,
care.
you do. That's right.
You know, and we have what we call a connect team.
Mm-hmm.
One word, connect team. It was very original. I thought of it. And the purpose of the connect team is to do just that, to connect with people as they come in. And as they come into their section of the room, that's, who they take responsibility for. And if they feel like they should meet me, then they make a point, to introduce that sort of thing. And they're trained. We tell them some specific things to do and questions to ask, and icebreaker type things. I remember a few years ago I went to one church and I thought I'll just visit that church this Sunday morning. I walked into this was out in Virginia. Walked into the church, walked in and they went, "Hi, is someone expecting you?"
Oh, yeah. You're supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
It's like, well,
I know.
Your idea about the kids is really important. So, if somebody shows up with a child, you obviously talk to the adult, and then it's great, as you say, if you kind of bend down and ask the child their name.
Yeah,
now, they may be shy and not tell you.
Yeah.
And then so look up at mom and dad and they'll say, well, this is Kyle. And then you use their name.
Yeah,
Hi,
that's
Kyle.
key. Use
My
the
name is Mark. I'm
Yeah.
glad you're here. A child, to hear an adult say their name is really important.
That's good.
And then secondly, look at their shoes, like you said.
Yeah.
And if the shoes, if they look kind of cool and kind of neat, make a deal out of their shoes. Little kids always
they love it.
They love their shoes.
Or if they're wearing a shirt or something.
But you
Find
say, man,
something.
I bet you can jump high in those shoes,
Yeah,
Kyle, can't you?
yeah.
I bet you can, man. And that's just a little thing
I
like
love
that.
it. That's right.
Is so vitally important for two reasons.
That's so good.
3, it's a godly thing to do.
Yeah.
Secondly, it does the parent will look at that and go,
Dude.
these people care about my kid.
Totally.
Thirdly, even though he may be 3 or 4 years old, already in his little heart, he's formulating what church means.
That's right.
And church isn't people who don't look at him and ignore him or tell him to quit running around the building. Church is somebody who likes him and looks him in the eye and uses his name and he feels safe around. So that's important.
And I would add to that, ask the question, do you want to worship with you, or ask the family, the mom and dad, do you want Kyle to worship with you this morning?
Yeah.
Instead of just saying, oh, here's the nursery.
Don't ever do that. Don't ever. Thank you for bringing that up. Don't ever, can I say it one more time?
Ever.
Don't ever say when someone comes in, we have a nursery over here. Don't ever, ever say that. Why? Because I will tell you the majority of people today, new people, are not comfortable dropping off their newborn or their 3-year-old people they don't know.
That's right.
And what you're saying, the subtext of that is we don't want your children in our sanctuary.
Yeah.
So what you say is, as Dan said, you say something like, we're so glad you're here. You're welcome to be in here with mom and dad. But mom and dad, if you'd be more comfortable, we do have a preschool, but you're welcome to take it. The choice is totally theirs.
Yeah.
Give them the
huge.
option,
That's
but
huge.
don't act like there is no other. And sometimes I've had people feel like they're being helpful. Oh, we have a nursery for him.
Yeah.
Now the people feels like, well, I got to put him in the nursery. And then he has separation anxiety and he's crying and they're not sure. And don't do that.
No.
Don't do that.
That's good.
But you might have. And I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, yeah.
What we did at Linwood, I think you need to have little cool little bags. You can get little bags at the Christian bookstore online. Cool little cloth bags, and in those cloth bags you put some paper, some Bible study lessons, some coloring book lessons, some color stuff that are all Bible stories.
They can take in with them.
And you say, and by the way, Mom, if you would like, don't give it to the kid unless you ask Mom. If you'd like, we do have some activity packets they can use it during work, and many times they're very happy to have that.
Yeah, that's
and
good.
they grab that thing. And they're able to, so they have the.
I love it.
That way you're prepared for them.
Yes,
you
that's
got
right.
a nursery, you got the packets, you give them those options.
Let me-
And you got a problem when she says, do you have one for my husband
That's
also?
right.
Yeah,
That's
that's a problem.
That is a problem.
Okay, there's 3 more. We'll just hit the first 2 fast because I want to hang out with number 6. But number 4 is be genuine and authentic. Don't try to be who you aren't. So this goes back to a little bit, I think, of what you got to be you, man. Don't be fake. Let the Lord love through you in your personality. Number 5 is serve people with joy. The last thing you want is a joyless greeter.
Which means
At the church.
this: expressions matter.
Yeah, that's right.
And there are some people, God love them, who are happy people and love
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, but there's something about their facial expression in a relaxing mode that does not look happy.
You look mad.
You know what I'm talking
you
about.
had to go
You look
there.
mad.
Either
You
they
look mad.
or they just look neutral.
Yeah,
even
yeah,
maybe mad
yeah.
or neutral, but they do not. There are other people that you just look at their face
Yeah.
and they just look.
You're drawn to them.
You got to be careful.
Yep.
It's been often said that the first people that those folks see when they walk in your church better represent your church because that's who they think is going to be there.
Wow.
So you might have a sweet elderly man who loves to do this, and he dresses up in a suit and tie because it's the only time every week he gets to wear one.
Yep.
And unfortunately, his facial expression is kind of frozen in sort of a frown. Well, if that's the first thing they see, now you know him. He's sweet and you love him.
Yeah.
They see, first of all, I was supposed to be wearing a suit because this man's wearing a suit. Secondly, he doesn't look very friendly.
Yeah.
You're going to have to be careful about that.
And if that guy is your greeter, that's great. Keep him, but surround him with a few other greeters.
Put some other kids in
That's
front
right.
of him.
Some
and stuff
others.
like that. Okay, move on.
By the way, real quickly, one of the great things that you can do is have families that are greeting.
Oh, yeah.
Instead
Oh, yeah.
of just a person.
That's right.
But make it a family project.
Totally. Oh, yeah.
This is your Sunday. Would you serve in that capacity? And by the way, you'd be surprised how many kids would love
Oh,
to
man.
do that.
That's
or have
so
kittens
true.
and puppies back there. That's always good, too.
Okay, number six. Last one is communicate clearly. And this is huge. So signage, we've already talked about signage.
Yeah.
We've talked about greeters, but I think, and you've hit this twice already, Clifton, is you've got to train your greeters. Like one of the things that we say is with a new family, you don't pass them off to anyone without taking them to somebody.
Taking them there,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you don't just say, hey, if they ask, well, what do we do with kids? Yeah, just go up the stairs to your left. No, you take them until you can pass them off to somebody else who can take them. So again, a lot of that's just care. It's just loving. It's what you see at a Chick-fil-A, quite frankly. They do it a lot better than the church does, sadly, sometimes. But it's communicating clearly. Where are the bathrooms? So this is where walk through your building as a new person. And you might be like, well, we have a small building. Doesn't matter. I mean, it can still be in a small building. I don't know. Am I going to the kitchen? Am I going to the restroom? Yeah. So signage matters. Greeters matter. Communication is big. So those are just 6 very simple ways that I think the Lord can use to help bring warmth and hospitality and deep care.
And let me ask you once again, please subscribe to this podcast. We do need the help to increase the range of this podcast. But also, this is a good podcast for you to share with all of you, just the whole church, frankly.
Yeah.
And say, we want to be a welcoming church. Here are 6 things that can help us be a welcoming church. And just share it with them. And let us do the heavy lifting
That's
for
right.
you. We won't even charge you for it. But you do need to subscribe, please.
Well, yeah. Plus, it hurts our feelings if you don't.
It does. And you're not being very welcoming and affirming,
Yeah.
and you're not pursuing us if you don't subscribe.
And first impressions.
That's right.
They matter.
Hey, thanks so much for spending time with us today. We do joke around, but we do love you guys, and we really appreciate you taking time to share in this. We hope it's been a benefit to you and a blessing and caused you to think about ways that you can be more proactive in connecting with people that are looking for a place to be connected and reach out to them and in a way that will make such an impression that they will come back. And you should probably then make a sign for second-time visitors.
That's true.
Or
And
guests
then
or something.
second-time
whatever.
guests.
Yeah, that's a
And
great.
third-time guests.
You should try just a whole layer.
Just a whole row of those. I think.
And by the way, don't forget about the for clergy parking only.
That's right.
Thanks for joining us today on Revitalize and Replant. This podcast is brought to you by the North American Mission Board, where we help dying or struggling churches regain health for the glory of God and the good of their communities. If you found this conversation helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform. To learn more about becoming a replanting pastor or to explore resources about revitalization for your own church, visit churchreplanters.com.